Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today is we are going to have a look at a new topic, controlled sales, which is actually from the advanced taxation textbook. So I have made a copy for you guys so that you can refer to the chapter. On top of that, we also have a public ruling on this chapter, which is public ruling in 2018, which I have also included in your Google Classroom, right? So control sales is actually a part of the big topic and the capital allowance, right? We have gone through capital allowance on the plant and machinery, industrial building, agricultural allowance, and now it's a control sales. So because it's related to the allowances, yeah. So as a recap, when a company purchase an asset, all right, and then they have during the year that they acquired an asset, so you have to identify the qualifying expenditure, and then from there, all right, for example, let's say the qualifying expenditure is 100,000, and this one is a plant and machinery. Let's say it's a heavy plant and machinery, so that the IA and AA is 20%, right? So when you have acquired an asset and you can actually claim the allowances, then you start to claim IA and AA in year 1, year 2, year 3, for example. So year 1, 100,000, so IA 20, AA 20% based on the 20%, so 20,000, 20,000. No IA in the following years, but AA you will continue to claim in the following year, right? So what happened when there's a disposal in year 4? Right? So when it comes to year 4, there's a disposal of this asset. So we know that in the year of disposal, you can no longer claim your allowances. So there's no claim of AA in year 4, but you are required to compute what is your residual expenditure. So how do you compute your residual expenditure? It's actually your qualifying expenditure minus all the allowances that you have claimed. So you have 100,000 minus 20, 20, 20, 20. So total allowances claimed is 80. So your RE will be 20. Right? Then you're going to compare that with your disposal value. It means that how much other people is paying for the asset, or it could also be a compensation from your insurance company. Maybe the company, the asset involved in any kind of accident, so you receive compensation. So that is also your disposal value. So let's say your disposal value is 30, then you see that is it a balancing charge or a balancing allowance. So in this case, a balancing charge of 10, right? So it means that whenever there's a disposal, then you have to compute a BA and BC. So when you call this disposal, is disposal to a third party. But what happens when there's a controlled sales, right? So a controlled sales, it's all related to allowances, but the computation will be a bit different. So what is a controlled sales? On page 40, chapter 41, it says that, let's see. Yeah, a controlled sales, before that, alright, so a disposal, alright, of a qualifying capex will give rise to either a balancing charge or balancing allowance on the first paragraph. And then it says that the purchaser of such asset, yeah, claims initial and annual allowance on the QE incurred. In this case, the purchase consideration if such qualifying expenditure is used in the business. So it means that in the case of I sell an asset to another party, so I will claim my allowances and also I will compute my BA and BC. To the other party, he will also claim IA and AA based on the expenditure that he incurred. Yeah. So in this case, if such qualifying is used in the business, in order to prevent related parties, so we look at the term here is a related party, to claiming excessive capital allowance through non-arm's length sales, the government has laid down special provision in the Act as well as gazetted rules as an anti-avoidance measure to govern related party on disposal of qualifying asset. these are known as a control transfer. Sometimes we call it as a controlled sales. Yeah, so it means that there's a control on the sales, or there's a control on the transfer of asset between related parties. And this is governed under Para 38 to 40 under Schedule 3 of the Income Tax Act, as well as Income Tax Rules 1969. So when is all sales control? It depends. Yeah, it says that if you fulfill the following criteria, control sales provision will apply if all. Right? It means that all of the following conditions are satisfied. Number one is that a person dispose of an asset in which an initial or annual allowance, in the case of qualifying plant or building expenditure, agriculture or forest allowance has been made or would have been made. The disposal must be carried on a business. Number two, one of the controlled situations stipulated in Para 38(1) exists at the time of disposal. And number three, the acquirer used the asset in the business and is eligible for capital allowance. Such asset cannot be part of the trading stock for the acquirer. It means that, alright, when we have the disposer and we also have an acquirer. So the disposer must use the asset in the business. Disposer must claim allowances on the asset. And then it says that the acquirer must also use the asset in the business. And it cannot be used the asset as an inventory. Alright, for example, I have a motor vehicle, for example, in this case. I dispose to a third party, and my third party in this case is a motor vehicle dealer. Right? So in the case of in this case, to me the asset is my asset which I use in the business, right? But to the motor vehicle dealer, motor vehicle is a stock, yeah. So in that case, you cannot claim allowances on your stock. So that is what he meant by use the asset in a business, right? Not as a trading stock, right? Control transfer provision will also apply when a person has more than one business source and transfer a qualifying asset from one business source to another. So for example, you have business 1 and business 2. Asset used in business 1 now transferred to business 2, then you also have to apply control sales or control transfer. So what are the situations that will fulfill this? Right? It says that disposal of assets are subject to control if any of the following, yeah, circumstances occur at the time of disposal. Number one, the disposer of the asset is a person over whom the acquirer of the asset has the control. Right? You have the disposer, right? It's a person over whom the acquirer the acquirer of the asset has control. So you're looking at, for example, parent company and subsidiary company. Right? In this case, acquirer has control over the disposer. Or the acquirer of the asset is a person over whom the disposer of the acquirer has an asset. So in this case, you're looking at the other way around. Alright, this disposer has control over the acquirer. You're looking at, for example, the disposer has control, means that the disposer may be a holding company disposed to a subsidiary. The first one, subsidiary disposed to the holding company. Some other person has control over the disposer and the acquirer of the asset. So in this case, you're talking about A, B, and C. A control B, A control C. There is a disposal between B and C that will also subject to control sales. D, the disposal is effected in consequence of a scheme of reconstruction or amalgamation of companies. So in this case, we are referring to, for example, company A and company B merge. Alright, when they merge, alright, you initially company A and company B now become company A, B, C. Yeah, so what happened is that they are going to transfer the asset from company A, company B to ABC. So this transfer will also affect under control sales. And the disposal is affected by way of settlement or gift by devolution of the property in the asset of death. Right? So normally we'll test you on A, B, and C. Right? So what do you mean by control here? Right? Control in relation to a company means, right, a person is said to have control in general when owns more than 50% share of a company or exercises significant influence on the conduct of the company. Yeah, we're looking at 50% shares. In relation to partnership, control means the right to a share of more than 1/2 of the partnership. Again, is more than 50%, or to more than 1/2 of the divisible profit. Okay, so let's look at this example. Right, we have RCIL has an authorized capital of 25,000 and issued share capital of 20,000, RM1 each, and the owners are, we have RC 12,000, CKF 5,000, and IL 3,000. In terms of percentage, RC has 60%, CKF have 25%, and IL have 15%. So in this case, we are saying that okay, RC control the company because he has more than 50%. And on top of that, we also have the information saying that CKF Sdn Bhd. Alright, the first one is RCIL Berhad. Now we have CKF Sdn Bhd has an issued capital of 20,000, each carrying 1 vote and subscribed by RCIL Berhad 25%, RC 40%, IL 50%, and TLM 20%. Alright. So how do you know, looking at this structure, alright, decide whether a company is related or not, or which company has a control over the other company? Yeah. So we have to draw that. Alright. Looking at here, for example, we know that the first information says that this one, we have RCIL owns by RC 60%. CKF 25%, and IL 15%. Can you see that? RCIL 60%, 25%, and 50%. But at the same time, CKF is also owned by TLM 20%, RC 40%, and CKF, there's no direct, but you have IL 15%. Yeah, so we have 4 shareholders there. RCIL have 25% over CKF Sdn Bhd. Alright? Now, for the purpose of control sales, yeah, it says that RCIL is controlled by RC, right? Why? Because RCIL controlled by RC because RC has 60%, which is more than 50%. CKF Sdn Bhd, who controls CKF Sdn Bhd? This one is only for 20%, direct 40%, and direct IL is 15%. But CKF, it says that it is also controlled by RC, right? Because of voting power via direct, which is 40%, right? You see direct 40%, and indirect shareholding 50%, which amount to 55%. How do you get the 55%? 60 times 25 is, how much is that? 15%. Yeah. However, for control transfer, see? For control transfer purpose, it is the 65% is to be used to determine whether control exists or not. So how do you get that 65%? You just take the 40%, and rather than 60 times 25, you only take that 25%. Yeah? So in this case, you have 65% to be used to determine control exists or not. Therefore, any disposal, so in this case, because now we say that RC controls 65% of CKF Sdn Bhd. RC also controls RCIL. So now you know that RC controls RCIL and CKF Sdn Bhd, isn't it? So in this case, control any transfer between RC, RCIL, and CKF subject to a control sales. Yeah. And set out. So other than that, there's no control. There's only 3 companies here. RC controls RCIL, RC also controls CKF. Yeah, so any transfer between among the 3 companies, then they will be subject to a control sales. Another example is that we see that Yi Xin here is a Malaysian resident individual provide the following information. Right, Yi Xin is an individual who controls Y 70%. So there's a control, and Y controls Z 60%. Right? So but X here, alright, Yi Xin also control 100% of X. So in this case, alright, any transfer, alright, between X and Y will be subject to control because Yi Xin control X and Y. Between Z, yes, also because Yi Xin also controls Z. So any transfer between among the 3 companies is subject to a control sales. So when there's a control sale, what is the tax implication? Alright, so you have to differentiate between a disposal from one party to a third party and disposal from one company to another company which are related. So what happens is that when it's a related company, so the difference is that number one is that assuming that this disposal under control sales, computation is still the same. The difference is that RE is 20, your DV is deemed to be RE. Your disposal value is deemed to be the same as RE. As a result, there's no balancing charge, there's no balancing allowance. Or in this case, we call it as a NIM. You get that? So when the transfer, in the case of disposal, we're talking about disposal here, right? That's the disposal value is deemed to be as your RE, and then because it's the same, so there will be no balancing charge, no balancing allowance. What about to the acquirer? Right? To the acquirer, he or she is entitled. Alright, in this case, you're talking about acquirer, we're talking about related party is under the same control. So why do we have this provision? Because we want to make sure that there's no manipulation or there's no extra claim of allowance of the same asset within the same group of companies. So that's why we have this. So it means that to the acquirer, the law says that even though, for example, the acquirer paid 30,000 for the asset, to the acquirer, the QE remains to be 100,000. But the allowance available is the remaining RE. So of course, even though you have to pay, for example, in this case, you paid 30,000, but your allowance is based on, there's no initial allowance for the acquirer, but the allowance available here is only 20,000. This one will be in year 4. So you see that in year 4, on the same asset, no allowance claimed by the disposer, but is claimed by the acquirer in year 4. What about year 5? Can you claim? No more. There's no claims available for acquirer in this case, because why? RE now is 0. Why is it 0? Because it starts from the disposer with RE 20. Now you already have claimed 20, so now your RE is 0. So for year 5, there's no more allowance that can be claimed by the acquirer. Even though you actually incurred 30, you can only claim 20. Yeah. So in this case, you see that the disposer is at advantage, but the acquirer is losing because you can only claim 20, even though you actually incurred 30,000. Right? So that is the first implication. Alright, number one is this. Number 1 is this. Alright. Number 2 is no balance charge, no balancing allowance. And number 3, the acquirer is deemed to claim the remaining allowances only. Right, the remaining residual expenditure available. Yeah? Okay. Okay, now how you decide that, alright, in year 4, right, in this case it's very clear cut. So you say that, for example, disposal year end is 31st of December 2000. Let's say 31st of December, and acquirer year end is also 31st of December. So it's a clear cut. So it means that if you dispose in Y4, means that the disposer cannot claim any allowance. Acquirer will claim the allowance in year 4, because why? The year end is the same. But the issue here is that sometimes the year end of the disposer and the acquirer is different. Right? So when the year end is different, then you have to decide which is the last year that the disposer can claim allowances, and when is the first year that the acquirer can start claim on the asset. So that's how we are going to look at the mechanism, alright, under control sales to decide when is the first day of the disposal final period. Right? So let's say that we want to determine disposal first day. What is it called? FDDFP. FDDFP. First day of disposal's final period. Alright. So what it means that is that, alright, we say that if this is the year of disposal 2019, year end is 31st of December 2019. Alright. So if the disposal disposed in YA 2019, so this is the year of disposal. Alright. What is first day of disposal's final period? So this is the disposal final period. So the first day will be on the 1st of January 2019. So this is what we mean by FDDFP. Once you decide on the year of disposal, so what is the first day of the year of disposal? First day of disposal final period. So it means that once you have your FDDFP, you know that in YA 2019, disposal can no longer claim any allowance. It means that for 2019, acquirer will claim the allowances. Is that clear? So what is the mechanism to decide on the FDDFP? Right, you have to follow the steps. What are the steps? Number 1, right? Determine the date of disposal. Right? What is the date of disposal? So let's look at the example on page 445, 41.3. Okay. Adam, we have Adam close his accounts on 30th of September annually if a company under common control makes account to 31st of March annually. Adam sold an asset to Eve on 1st August 2018. The first YA in which Eve can claim capital allowance is 2019. So how do you decide on that YA 2019? There's a way for it, yeah? So how you decide on that? How do you know that Eve will claim on YA 2019? So you say that the law says that the mechanism number 1 is obtain the date of disposal. So in this case, the date of disposal is 1st of August 2018. Okay. Number 2, using date of disposal, right? Relate it to the first YA in which the acquirer can claim capital allowance. Alright, what you do is that to the acquirer, draw the timeline for the acquirer. When is the acquirer year end? Right? If is the common control, means that now you must decide who is the disposer, who is the acquirer. Adam sold asset to Eve, so Eve is the acquirer. Eve year end is 31st of March. So draw that 31st of March. Alright? 31st of March, and then when is 1st August 2018? It must be here. 1st August 2018. So when you have 1st August 2018 as the date of disposal, this one must be which year? It has to be 2019, isn't it? So it cannot be 2018. So it has to be 2019. So which YA is that? This one is YA 2019. Yeah, to the acquirer. Number 3, what you have to do is that using the same YA, draw the basis period for the disposal. So number 3, to the disposal, draw a timeline for 2019. Right? YA 2019 to the disposal. When is the year end of the disposal? 31st of December or 30th of September. The disposal. Adam year end 30th of September. So to the disposal, year end is 30th of September, YA 2019 means that it has to end on 2019. So when does it start? Start on 1st August 2018. To the disposer, YA 2019 is year end 30th September 2019, starts on 1st October 2018. Right? So it means that the year of disposal now is 2019. Why you come up with that? Because you have to determine when is the date of disposal to the acquirer first. This date is YA 2019, means that this is the year of disposal. Right? To the disposer, YA 2019 is this period. Right? And the law says that based on this 1st October 2018 is the first day of disposal final period. So it means that in 2019, alright, this is the year of disposal. Who claims allowances in 2019? Adam or Eve? For 2019, Eve, alright? Adam cannot claim anymore in 2019, but Eve will start to claim allowance in 2019. That means that Adam claims up to 2018, comes to 2019, Eve will claim the allowances. So these are the 4 steps that you have to do to determine which year of assessment that the acquirer will start to claim the allowance and what is the first day of the disposal final period. So these are the steps. Okay. Let's look at the next example. Okay. In the following example, we have CML and SAM related companies, and CML disposed a plant to SAM for 50,000. The particular of the plant is as follows: qualifying expenditure, total claim, and RE 40,000. The disposal is subject to control transferred provision. Why? Because they are related companies. The consideration of 50,000 received by CML is ignored. CML is deemed to dispose at 40,000, thus there would not be any balancing charge, any balancing allowance. SAM Sdn Bhd, right, is deemed to have incurred qualifying expenditure of 40,000. The amount of annual allowance claimed would be the same amount claimed by CML, that is 10% times by 100,000. The actual consideration paid by the acquirer is not relevant. So I stated earlier that because when there's a related party transaction, the disposal value is deemed to be the same as the RE, and means that you can only claim your allowance based on the remaining residual expenditure. The next example, we have Chi Keong Sdn Bhd. Make up accounts annually to 30th of September. Sold an asset to Jeffrey Ng. So now you see here, you sold asset to Jeffrey Ng means that Chi Keong is the disposer, Jeffrey Ng is the acquirer. Right? Take note of the date of disposal on 1st of December 2018. And Jeffrey Ng make up accounts to 31st March each year. So now you have to decide what is the amount of allowances available for both Chi Keong and Jeffrey Ng. When is the first year of assessment that Jeffrey Ng, who is the acquirer, will claim allowances? Yeah. So the first year for YA Jeffrey Ng could claim initial allowance will be 2019. So how you decide on that? So it goes back to the formula, right? So let's say going the same, right? Using the same example, using the same step, using the same mechanism. So what is the date of disposal? Date of disposal is 1st of December 2018. Right? And to the acquirer, who is a Jeffrey Ng, make up accounts to 31st of March. So here the change is only on the date of disposal. Right? 2018. Year end 31st March 2018 means that this one must be 2019. Yeah? So YA 2019 is the year of disposal. Using the same YA 2019, Jeffrey Ng year end is again 30th of September. So it starts on 1st October 2018. So this is the FDD FP. It means that in this case, Chi Kiong will claim from, it doesn't say when you acquire the asset, but claim up to 2018, and Jeffrey Ng will start to claim from 2019 onwards. Again, depending on the available residual expenditure. Okay, let's look at the next example. So in this case, say that, right, Chi Kiong, oh ada lagi panjang ni. Alright, and then the first day, okay, if the asset had been acquired by Chi Kiong for 15,000 in August 2016 and was sold to Jeffrey Ng for 10,000, the capital allowance will computed as follows. So remember, yeah, it's when August 2016. Alright, Chi Kiong, August 2016, year end is September. Is that why in 2016? Yes. Right, again, minus is right here. Remember the facts? Okay, to Chi Kiong, how much is the qualifying expenditure?
15,000.
How much?
15,000.
15,000, isn't it? When is the year end? September. And acquired in August 2016. So the first YA is 2016. Is it a plant machinery? How much is the rate they claim?
2010.
2020.
2010.
Sorry, hold on. Chi Kiong, they claim 20 and 10%. So let's follow 20% and 10%. So 20% is 3,000, isn't it? And 10% is 1,500. So 2017 and 2018. You're going to claim 1,500, 1,500. When it comes to 2019, right, you cannot claim anymore. But what's your RE? 3,000. Can you please count that for me? RE would be 6,000, 7,500. So it should be 7,500. So 7,500. Now you sell to Jeffrey Ng, is it? How much you sell to Jeffrey Ng? Chi Kiong,
10,000.
you sell for 10,000. Can you put your disposal value as 10,000? No, it's deemed to be at 7,500. So there's no balancing charge, no balancing allowance. That's how you do it. For the same year 2019, now you have who?
Jeffrey.
You have the acquirer to claim on the asset. How much you can claim? Alright, 2019 means the acquirer will claim 1,500. Can she claim into 2020? Yes. She can claim 2020, 2021, 2022 until what? 0. Right? It depends on how many years. It could be another balance ada 7,500 lagi kan? Divide by 5. So divide by 1,500 means that another berapa? 5 years ke? 5 years. Yeah? So it means that 2019, 2020, 2021, 22 and 2022. Then it will be 0 rise. Unless, alright, assuming that in 2023 they dispose to third party, then there's another computation. Okay? Right. So that's how you compute. Alright, first you decide on the first date of disposal final period. You decide on the year of disposal. Then you do the computation for the disposal as well as to the acquirer. You will just continue doing the computation. Alright, let's look at the next example where we have RC 41.6. Okay. We have RC Sdn Bhd and CKF Sdn Bhd under common control. RC make up accounting year to 30th of June, while CKF make up account to 31st of March. RC Sdn Bhd purchased a commercial vehicle on 3rd of March 2015 for 85,000 and sold it to CKF for 61,000 on 1st June 2018. Alright, a commercial vehicle. So it means that the rate is 20%, 20%. The first YA for CKF claim, alright, is 2019. Alright, how do you come to this? Alright, so you have to come up with the computation. Alright, take note on the facts is that when is the date of disposal?
First June.
Yeah. Date of disposal is 1st June 2018.
18.
Right? To the acquirer, when is the year end? To the acquirer,
31st March.
oh sudah. Hilang. Okay, again. The first paragraph, alright, we have all the facts there. Make up account to 31st March, alright, and then sold on 1st June 2018. So to the acquirer, where is the year end? So who's the disposer here? RC is the disposer, alright, and then RC purchase and then sell to CKF. So RC year end is 31st of March. Date of disposal 1st of June 2018. Again, this one is 2019. Using 2019 to the disposer, year end is 30th of June. Where do you get that? The RC make an accounting year to 30th of June. So that's the year end of the disposal. 30th of June 2019. Because why? YA 2019. So when is your first day of disposal final period? When does it start?
That's me.
1st July 2018, and this is your MPD. So what it says from here is that acquirer will start to claim in 2019. Disposer will start to claim up to 2018. Right. So, but when you first acquire, the disposer claim acquired on 3rd of March 2015. Which YA is that? To the disposal year end 30th of June. So this one is YA 2015. Right? So if you do that, right? Okay, you start in 2015. How much is the cost? You start in 2015. How much? You purchase for 85,000, isn't it? So 85,000. Commercial motor vehicle 20%, 20%. Right? 0.2, 20%, and 20%. How much is that? 8.5 times 2? 70,000. So 2015, 2016, 17, and 2018. 2019. 15 means that 17,000. Why just put 17, 17, 17, 17, and 17. Any year in 2019? No. But what's the RE? How much is the RE? 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Times by 5? 0. Right? 17 means that everything has been claimed. RE is 0. Disposal value is 0. In this case, of course, no balancing charge, no balancing allowance. But to the acquirer, you want to claim in 2019. Can you claim anything? No. You claim 0. So it means that even though you paid how much? You paid 61,000 for the asset, you cannot claim any allowance on the asset because why? Under control transfer is deemed to be 0 value. So in this case, alright, even though there's a control transfer, right, but the acquirer cannot claim anything because why? Everything has been claimed by the disposer. Okay, and one final example before we go off. Yeah, let's look at example on page 448, 41.7. Right? So that will be the last example. So let's see the facts of the case. Are you following so far? Okay. Right, example 41.7. So the first, we have three examples now. Okay, one we have the first one where we have a disposer and acquirer, right, claim on the asset. Number two, this recent one 41.6, disposer claim everything, acquirer cannot claim anything. But this 41.7 is a different scenario. We have Roswan Sdn Bhd and Jack Tan Sdn Bhd under common control with accounting year end 31st March and 30th of September. Alright, Rose 1 bought an asset on 2nd of June 2019 for 50,000 and sold to Jack Tan for 45,000 on 8th of September 2019. Right? So you see that the acquisition period in this case 2006, 2019 and then disposed in September 2000. It's the same year. But for control transfer, remember your clawback where we say that disposal within 2 years, you have to claw back, it's not applicable under control sales, right? You just continue to do the computation. Alright, so in this case, alright, we'll see that when is the date of disposal? You bought and then you sold on 8th of September 2019. And to the acquirer, year end is Jack Tan is the acquirer, right? Year end is 30th of September. 8th of 9 is very near to that, isn't it?
Yes.
8th of September 2019. So here must also be 2019. So why 2019? Right? And to the disposal, year end is 31st of March. 2019 means that it starts on 1st of April 2018. So this one is YA 2019. It's the same. So what happened here is that you know the acquirer will claim in 2019, disposer claim up to 2018. But can disposer claim in 2018? Okay, nampak tak? Acquirer akan claim in 2019. Disposer claim in 2018. Can disposer claim anything? Then you have to check it. Right? To the disposer, when you first acquired the asset, you bought an asset on 2nd of June 2019. Right? 2nd of June 2019. 2nd of June 2019. Your year end is, right? So this one, your year end is 31st of March, isn't it? We are talking about the disposal. Year end is 31st of March. If you acquire this in 2019, means that this one refers to YA 2020. Isn't it? Because this date, 2nd June 2019, is YA 2020 for the disposal. But based on the computation just now, we say that in 2019, acquirer claim start to claim. Means that acquirer claim in 2019, acquirer will continue to claim in 2020. So what happened to the disposer? Because your asset, right, acquired in 2020, but the control transfer sale says that this acquired claim in 2019, so it means that to the disposer you cannot claim anything. Right? to the disposer even though incurred qualifying expenditure on this date, you cannot claim any allowances on the same asset because why? It's a control sales provision that give rights to the acquirer to claim everything. It means that acquirer in 2019, because the asset has not been claimed by the disposer, acquirer will claim both initial allowance and annual allowance on the asset. How much you will claim? How much you can claim? You sold to Jack Tan for 45,000, but Jack Tan can actually claim based on 50,000, which is the qualifying expenditure incurred by the disposer. Alright, so in this example, it gives you a different scenario whereby disposer claim nothing and acquirer claim everything based on the QE incurred by the disposer. You see, so there could be different scenario, right? Then you have to decide who claims the allowances, how much is the allowance available, and which YA that the acquirer will start to claim the asset. So we can also have another example where we have a control sales. A to B is a control sales. B to C is a third party sales. So B to C, then you have to do the normal computation because it's a third party disposer. Then you compute lah the balancing charge and balancing allowance under the normal circumstances. Yeah. So that covers your example, alright, under control sales. And on the last page, we have comprehensive example that I want you to go through and do the prepare the answer based on our discussion today. Yeah, you should be able to try that out. And I'll see you again inshallah in the next class. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.